Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
The city of Rockford installs signs discouraging drivers from giving money to panhandlers. Those asking for help say the effort's making tough times worse.
Well, I think it's important for us to be responsible with the resources that we have.
Governor Pritzker gives his thoughts on a possible move for the Chicago Bears to the suburbs. Hear his take on the state possibly offering the team financial help.
Animals always followed her home.
Mostly cats.
A beloved member of Winnebago County passes away. Donna Apgar's sisters speak to the legacy their sibling leaves behind. Good evening. I'm Mimi Murphy. Eric Wilson is off tonight. Rockford police are currently on the scene of a shooting. About an hour ago, investigators were called to the intersection of Soper and Mulberry. That's where they found one male victim. He'd been shot in the leg. The man is expected to survive. No word on a suspect. Officers are still on scene. Drivers should avoid the area during the investigation. Signs advising against panhandling are now displayed at some of Rockford's busiest intersections. It's the city's latest attempt at discouraging drivers from giving people money. Rachel Perry spoke with both the mayor and a man asking for money on the street. And Rachel, the man tells you these new signs are working.
That's right, Mimi, but not to his advantage. The city is placing 10 signs at different intersections. Those read, "Panhandling is not safe. Contribute to the solution. Give to local charities." But Clifford, who stands on East State and Mulford Road, strongly disagrees.
If you can give up $2, what's $2 to you? You have a car, you have a home, you know? A few bucks here and there ain't gonna kill nobody.
Clifford Bellers says the signs are making it harder for him to get back on his feet. He's getting less money.
They're basically blocking me from being able to help myself.
Mayor McNamara tells me people are fed up with the increase in panhandling.
So I think right now everyone has grown tired of seeing panhandlers on so many different corners.
He says his hands are tied. Courts have ruled it's your First Amendment right to ask for money. The mayor is encouraging people not to give to panhandlers.
Folks are on the corners because people give them money. And if we can stop having people give them, the individuals on the corners, money, then those folks won't continue to return to those corners.
Instead, McNamara suggests giving to local organizations that help the homeless.
If that's with substance abuse, mental health concerns, or if they're just homeless, or if they're in need of employment, we can help them with all of that, and we would love nothing more than that.
Everybody's hiring right now.
Well, yes, but I ain't got no way to get there. I ain't got no house over my head. I ain't got no permanent residence. I have no vehicle.
McNamara and Clifford have very different messages to the public.
We urge citizens, please, do not give money to people who are asking for it on street corners. Provide those funds to great organizations in our community.
Stop judging people that you don't know. You could be in the same position any given second.
Clifford tells me he uses the money he gets for food, a motel, and cigarettes. He also says he goes to different shelters for meals and support. Tonight at 6, see the links Clifford says some people are going to keep him away from their vehicles. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Rachel. Small businesses in need of a leg up following the pandemic still have time to get help from the state. Governor J.B. Pritzker says $24 million is up for grabs in the form of American Rescue grants. Some recovery grants have already been handed out. Half of those went to minority-owned businesses. One Latino entrepreneur from Chicago says he's proud of the progress, but adds there's more work to be done.
Only 10% of the grantees for the Back to Business grants are Latino. That means that there's still a lot of work to do, considering that we're 20% of the population across the whole state of Illinois. I think it's very important for us to make sure that we're reaching our small Latino businesses.
Business owners can apply for a grant through October 13th. Governor Pritzker speaks out about the possibility of the Chicago Bears moving out of Soldier Field. He says whether the Bears stay or go is up to city and team leaders. Pushback on any new state funding going to the Bears is coming loud and clear from several state lawmakers. Today, 2 state lawmakers filed what they call proactive legislation. They say it would ensure that taxpayers are not responsible financially if a new stadium is built in Arlington Heights. Pritzker says fiscal responsibility is his main priority.
As you know, it's very important for us to focus on our fiscal situation in the state, making sure that we're building up the infrastructure of the state and that we're balancing our budget.
The lawmakers say taxpayers remain on the hook in the amount of about $400 million from the original Soldier Field renovation. Although it might still seem like summer with the warm weather outside, many outdoor markets are winding down for the year, but you can still pick up fresh food and unique items at a new indoor shopping event. This fall, Rockford MIDTOWN Market will host a farmer's market inside Katie's Cup. Shoppers will be able to pick up produce, coffee, health foods, and other products. Some vendors will accept EBT cards. Organizers say they're happy to keep the market going.
The Rockford MIDTOWN Market has been going on for the last 3 seasons outdoors during the summers. And this year we've been willing to try a fall season, which will be 10 weeks, because our vendors are willing to participate and continue to provide both produce and products that people can purchase now through the fall season.
Rockford MIDTOWN Market runs Thursdays from 9 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon starting next week and lasting through mid-December. It's a sad day for the state line as many community members mourn the loss of a friend and neighbor. Donna Apgar passed away last night. She'd been fighting cancer for years. Michelle Rave caught up with the animal advocate's family. And Michelle, this is a big loss.
Donna Apgar was a familiar face here at our station, bringing us the pet of the week on our morning show. Her sisters tell me they want her to be remembered for being a caring, giving, and loving person.
She was an advocate for animals because they can't speak for themselves, so she spoke for them.
Donna Apgar worked at the Winnebago County Animal Services for 26 years. Her sisters, Karen Thomas Lindstrom and Sandra Thomas, say her love for animals started young.
It's a family thing. It came from our dad.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because she has 2 dogs, I have 2 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
In 2015, Apgar was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. Despite beating the odds early on, she died Wednesday.
We were very close as sisters, all 3 of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Growing up, though, most of the time it was on any given day. It could have been me and Sandy against Donna, Donna and Sandy against me and Donna against Sandy. You know how that goes.
Jennifer Stacy worked with Apgar for more than 2 decades, and she says she'll be missed.
She made a big impact on the facility, the community, all the animals that she was able to, successfully place, and it's a big role that she filled while she was here.
Her sisters say her passion was finding animals their forever home.
Oh my gosh, thousands.
Yeah, countless. Absolutely, she did. And I mean, that's what gave her the most pleasure in life, really, was making sure that they got placed in quality forever homes.
And she wouldn't hesitate to help save a life.
She adopted this kitty because he otherwise would have probably been put down. And he was an amazing cat, probably because of the love he got from Donna.
One thing the sisters are certain about is the impact she had on their family and the community.
She was one fantastic person that nobody's going to be able to replace her. Nobody.
The family wants to create a foundation in Donna's honor to help continue saving animals. Mimi.
Tonight, Congress has narrowly avoided a federal government shutdown. With just hours until funding was set to expire, lawmakers in both the House and Senate voted to keep the government up and running at least until December. Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer recaps the last-minute drama on Capitol Hill. Eyewitness News is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Good evening. Lawmakers were really up against the clock here with funding set to expire at midnight tonight, but they were able to get this to the president's desk just in time.
With only hours to spare,
the bill is passed.
Congress moved to avoid a potential government shutdown.
This is a good outcome, one I'm happy we are getting done.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer pushed ahead with the vote Thursday to fund the government through December 3rd, a short-term bill that includes funding to resettle Afghan refugees and deliver disaster relief to states. 15 Republicans, including Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, voted in support of the bill.
Do our part to avoid a shutdown.
The House then approved the government funding bill just in time to get it to the president's desk for approval.
Nobody wants to be saddled with the government shutdown.
With the shutdown avoided, attention now turns to avoiding a looming financial meltdown by raising the debt ceiling. GOP senators blocked an earlier effort, but Democrats like Representative David Price are preparing to go it alone.
I wish we had Republican cooperation on things like the debt limit.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki assured Democrats will get it done.
There's negotiations. They all have representatives who are advocating for their points of view. That's democracy in action.
While Congress comes together to avoid a government shutdown, lawmakers are growing even more divided over the president's infrastructure agenda. It's pitting members of the president's own party against one another as they debate over how much to spend on what they call the human infrastructure portion of the plan. Reporting here in Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, even though we had a little bit more cloud cover out there this afternoon, that did not stop our temperatures from climbing into the mid and upper 80s. More of a summer-like feel on this late September fall day. A live look with a Mercial Skytrack camera out in Freeport at the Park Hills Golf Course. Some cloud cover out there. We'll continue to see a few clouds as we go through this evening. Hard to kind of think that, yeah, we're in the fall season. You're starting to see maybe some of the colors begin to change on the leaves as we begin to near kind of our peak time for fall foliage. I have to say a big thank you to Jeff Dimmel for sharing his fall photo. You've got the beautiful colors here on the leaves kind of changing a bit, little yellow, orange, and red. Love to see that, Jeff. So thank you so much for sharing your fall photo. If you have any fall photos, whether it be of the leaves changing on the trees, maybe you've got some fall decorations outside, would love to see those. Share those with us. cking@WTVO.com. Maybe you're planning a trip. This weekend might not be the best weekend because we've got some showers there, but typically in the next couple of weeks is when we tend to see that peak of fall color here in northern central Illinois, mid-October, a little bit later in the season, late October once you get further south downstate. Now, one thing that we might have to keep in mind here with our fall colors, they might not be quite as vibrant as what they've been in years past. Reason being, we have been exceptionally warm here for the month of September. Our overnight lows too, those have been warm, and we haven't had much rainfall. In fact, our latest drought monitor from the National Drought Mitigation Center, unfortunately showing severe drought conditions expanding now across much of northern Illinois. Last week, we were dealing in Ogle, Lee, parts of DeKalb, Whiteside, and Carroll County, but now that orange coming up into northern Illinois, northwest Illinois, severe drought conditions now expanding across north central, northeast, McHenry County. Those percentages keep going up here from week to week. We've had just a little over half an inch of rainfall here in the month of September. It has not been a lot. This right now puts us at the 7th driest September on record with just 5,300 precipitation coming down for the month. Just a little over 16 inches for the entire year. And when we look at that right now, driest year to date on record. Now, I do want to note 1920, 1946 had less amounts this time in the year, but there's a lot of data missing during those years. So if we were to factor those in, it would be the third. But since that data is missing, the driest year to date on record. Now, we are going to see a little bit of rainfall here for the weekend. That'll come in early Saturday, Sunday. Heaviest of the rain looks to stay more to the south, 1/4 of an inch, about a 1/2 an inch coming down between Saturday and Sunday. So let's time that out here on Futurecast. High pressure stays in control here for the next several days. We'll see an increase in cloud cover. I think our Friday night is going to be dry. After midnight is when we'll start to see some of those showers begin to move in. Cold front begins to near from the northwest, so that'll bring in a few showers, maybe even a clap of thunder once we head into Saturday afternoon and evening. Mid and upper 80s currently where we sit right now, and that's where our weather watcher numbers sit as well. 86 degrees for Bob in Rockford and 88 dew point temperature in the low 50s for Ben here in South Beloit. We're right around 59 degrees for tonight. We'll keep a few clouds around. Watch for some patchy fog, especially ground fog into the morning tomorrow. 86 for tomorrow afternoon. So it is going to be a warm one. 78 once we head into Saturday. Those temperatures will stay in the lower 70s. We'll kind of taper off maybe some of those rain showers as we head into early next week.
Now the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
Well, things have been ugly all week for the Bears since they bombed in Cleveland last Sunday. Imagine what it'll be like if they lose to the Lions. They meet Sunday at Soldier Field. Right now the Lions are winless, but it took an NFL record 67-yard field goal by the Ravens last Sunday to keep them winless. Their other losses were to the 49ers and to the Packers, so the Lions are probably better than the record indicates. And unlike the Bears, the Lions do have a semblance of an offense. Jared Goff hasn't been spectacular at quarterback, but he's been solid. As discouraged as I am by the Bears offense, I'm very encouraged by their defense. Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack have become forces again. The Bears are tied for the NFL lead in team sacks. The main storyline, though, in this game will be the Bears' play calling and game plan on offense. You would think Matt Nagy has seen the light and turned over the play calling to Bill Lazor, or at least Nagy will refrain from keeping Justin Fields in the pocket. And Nagy will ensure Fields gets more pass protection sets. But it's Matt Nagy, so we could see more of the same. I'm gritting my teeth making this prediction, but I am picking the Bears to win behind their defense and the fact that they're at home. I have the Bears winning 24-21. The Packers will host the Steelers Sunday afternoon. The Steelers have won the last 5 regular season meetings with the Packers, but this Steelers team doesn't appear to be up to Steelers standards. They're 1-2. They opened with a surprising win over the Bills, but have since lost to the Raiders and Bengals. Injuries, in particular a groin injury to T.J. Watt, have held back their defense. Watt is expected to play Sunday. The Steelers' offense has lacked spark. The Steelers' offense ranks 25th in the NFL. Heralded top draft pick Najee Harris is averaging barely over 3 yards a carry. The Packers will want to bring their A game Sunday, but even if they bring their B game, it should be good enough. I'm taking the Packers in this one 28-17. I want to quickly address one question I got today from a viewer. She wanted to know if the Bears do move to Arlington Heights, will they still be called the Chicago Bears? Well, the Bears haven't said anything officially yet because they haven't even officially announced that they will play in Arlington Heights. But I can tell you the answer is yes, they would still be the Chicago Bears, just like the Cowboys have been the Dallas Cowboys all along, even though they spent the past couple decades playing in Irving, Texas, and in Arlington, Texas. And the Rams and Chargers play at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, but they're still the Los Angeles Rams and the Los Angeles Chargers. Even though the Bears wouldn't technically be playing in Chicago, they'd still be playing in the Chicago market, and they'd keep the more prestigious Chicago name. That's my take. We'll be right back.
Guys, once again on our first warning interactive radar that brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and more. Of course, you can always find that right on mystateline.com. We got a few clouds out there that'll stay with us here as we go through the night tonight. Temperatures down around 59 degrees. We're up to 86 for tomorrow. Most of the day is going to be dry, so if you are heading out to anything outdoors, I think you'll be fine for that. Even the football games tomorrow night too. A chance for rain moves in overnight. Steadier rain showers, maybe a rumble of thunder on Saturday.
Steady rain showers would be nice. All right, thanks Candace, and thanks for watching. We'll see you at 6.